Hey guys, also shout out to Dr. T, and I'm going to do my presentation on my three research articles and my findings. So the first article is based on teachers' responsibility, and it investigates prospective teachers teaching specific hopes as predictors of their sense of personal responsibility. A lot of P's, a lot of T's. And the article focused a lot on a teacher's responsibility for student motivation, student achievement, the relationships with their students, and how teachers can drive those into student success. And the article explains that a teacher's sense of responsibility springs from hope, and that hope is the driving force of a teacher's sense of responsibilities, and it can even motivate the most challenging students during these lessons. So an interesting point in the argument is, or in the article, is that the finding that hope for student motivation significantly predicted responsibility for relationships with students, whereas hope for relationships with students predicted all aspects of personal responsibility. This explains that it's more important for teachers to build relationships with their students, and that all other teacher responsibilities will come easier if they have healthy and positive relationships with their students. It's a pretty simple argument. If a teacher has better relationship with his students, then their students are more likely motivated to learn. So the second article is based on the code of conduct, and this time it's called First Do No Harm, First Do No Harm, Emotional Maltreatment in the Classroom. And I found this article interesting because and valuable because a lot of what good teachers do to be a lot because a lot of what teachers do is it can be counterproductive what some teachers can do. And the article goes into the fact that it gives valuable examples as to what not to do when to teach. For example, this article centers on the example of Miss Jones, an experienced teacher who has very specific ways for children to behave in her classroom, and she continually punishes, ridicules, and shames one student for being late in front of the rest of the class. And this kind of behavior can, discourage that student. And when the other students see this teacher, ridiculing the student, they'll think, oh, it's okay for us to do it too. So doesn't, it just ruins that student's self-confidence. But the article goes on to explain that this can be all too common in like kindergarten, first elementary school in general. And this article is important because uh, teachers should have one of the many responsibilities of teachers is that they need to foster healthy and positive relationships. We don't want to berate our students. We just want to set a positive example. So when children, they feel nervous that you might possibly berate them, they feel anxiety, fear, you know, on all that, all that negative emotions, that they might be the target of, in the future, they might be the target of the teacher's next displeasure. So, if you see other teachers do this, you gotta, one, label the harm, two, identify the harm to the student being targeted, and then three, you got to act on it, because if you see other teachers partake in this kind of behavior, it's an ethical responsibility for you to put the student needs first, and you got to intervene. So, and the last one is on student academic achievement and the relationship between teacher efficacy and student academic achievement. And it was interesting because it showed how much control teachers can have over student academic achievement. And there's some debate about this, and some teachers feel that it's almost impossible for them to increase student academic achievement, that a lot of it's intrinsic motivation. However, the article does show that there is a relationship between teacher efficacy and student academic achievement. Teachers have to believe that they can influence student academic achievement and behavior even when students lack academic motivation, because even when teachers show just having that belief as a teacher in students that they can achieve at a high level, students are more likely to uh, want to achieve at a high level and meet those expectations. So really, it just goes to show that, if you have high expectations of your students, then, you'll be able to, they'll be able to more likely achieve more with those high expectations. All right. Thank you for listening. That was all three of my academic articles, and I had a blast doing it. Thanks again to Dr. T for listening, especially if you got this far. I'm not a very good speaker, but I'm working on it. And thank you for listening again.